coming out swinging against Gavin Newsom. I suppose that these celebrities really hate the way he's run the state.
I have to tell you, I know that Nicki Minaj is bored of Gavin. I am not bored of this. I love this. The barbs are totally vindicated. Barbs is the word for Nicki Minaj fans, for those who are not hip to the lingo. This is wonderful, and some of us saw this coming because Nicki Minaj has been endorsing a lot of important conservative causes recently, but notice what the causes are. There are two in particular. One, she's reacting to Gavin Newsom's bizarre, freaky statement that he wants to see more trans kids. What kind of a bizarre statement to make?
Expected a flurry of new immigration decisions, not only targeting people from Afghanistan, but also halting all asylum decisions until further vetting can't be done.
The nonsense that the left gave us with this Operation Welcome Allies. Look, there was no vetting. If you think there was vetting, I have a bridge to sell you.
The Trump administration has now paused issuing visas for people traveling on Afghan passports, as well as stopped processing all immigration requests from the country. Now, the new directives do go beyond just Afghanistan. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced that all asylum decisions will be put on hold until every single person is vetted and screened, while the status of green card holders from 19 countries of concern will be re-examined. Now, today on the international front, President Trump posted on Truth Social warning airlines, pilots, as well as drug dealers that airspace over Venezuela is closed after more than 20 U.S. military strikes.
I just want you all to remember how a lot of these illegal aliens broke the law to get in here. I want you all to remember what the Biden and Harris administration allowed. And remember, when Greg Abbott tried to secure his side of the border with those bulldozers and barbed wire, Biden took him to court to make him take the barbed wire down and move the bulldozers so this invasion can happen. This was orchestrated, and now the fake news and the Democrats are crying because President Trump have to deal with this to get all of these people out that they allowed. These are the people that came over here illegally, and these are the people that we are supposed to feel sorry for because they have to go back and come back the right way. This is what was allowed. Don't forget. And now you see why ICE is picking up child traffickers and sex offenders and murderers out of our communities that the Democrats know about and keep releasing them right back into our communities.
This is the mayor of San Francisco, a city whose ex-mayor was Gavin Newsom, admitting out loud that leaders like Gavin Newsom wrecked the place with his policies.
We lost a little bit of our mojo. You know, we also took things for granted. We took our restaurateurs, we took our entrepreneurs, we took our business community for granted. We said we can just keep punishing you, we can keep being, you know, an opponent of yours, and you're gonna stay.
I asked my fellow Angelinos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community and our state and put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded upon and promises to offer. That's all.
Well, that didn't happen. People fled. I wish they hadn't, but I understand to a degree why people felt like the elected class in San Francisco took people for granted. From our artists to our restaurateurs to our entrepreneurs, and we're not going to do that again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have massive breaking news. Earlier today, there was a Christmas party at the White House where Democrats, Republicans, everybody was invited. And the Democrats showed up thinking they're going to have a good time, have a couple of drinks, have some good food, and then go home and rest. But something happened. Trump took the stage. He looked at them and said, "I caught you. I now have all the evidence. My team has all the evidence of everything that you have been doing across the country." Then he looked at the cameras and said, "The American people, let me get your attention. I caught them all. Right after New Year's, we are releasing everything for the Americans to see. So the Democrats came there feeling good, feeling happy, left absolutely terrified. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to play that statement, but first, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from today? Let's get right into it.
That's all they're good at cheating in elections, very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you'll see it come out. It's coming out in truckloads.
So right there, he said, they cheated in 2020. We have all the ammunition now, and we're about to release it. We're about to release everything, and you're going to see it. We have truckloads of evidence.
And California's election, New York also, but California more than any other place is so rigged.
Flashback.
Oh, this is interesting. Open the flap. You can see I voted no. But for some reason, I didn't check it when I put it in. And so when they open this flap, they see that.
It's such a rigged election. You know, we won the Hispanic vote. So a lot of people say Republican wouldn't win California, but I won the Hispanic vote.
You're going to vote for Trump in 2024?
Yeah.
Why?
He loves Mexicans.
What makes you say he loves Mexicans?
He talks a lot about us. He thinks a lot of them in us, so hey, he loves them.
So you love Trump?
Yeah.
So you're going to vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
What about when he said most Mexicans are crossing illegally? What do you say to all that?
It's true.
Damn! Boom, I vote Republican, of course.
Coming from Cuba, we all know what communism and socialism looks like.
Donald Trump's, the values he stands for me, it's the same values I share.
Kamala, she's horrible. She is socialist.
To all the Hispanic Trump supporters out there, don't let them get to you. The Democrats are now trying to do to your community what they've already done to the black community. They told us, oh, BLM, Black Lives Matter. And they'll say that until the minute you don't do what they want you to do. And then they'll tell you real quick exactly what they think of you. That basically your usefulness to them has expired, and they will let you know. No one has the right to tell you how to vote or what to think based on your ethnicity.
Flashback.
Communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
A bullshit, a bullshit, a bullshit, a bullshit.
Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. Why is it okay that everybody gets to come out here and shame this one demographic of people for how we vote or how we question where our vote goes? But if it was a white politician shaming other white men for not voting based on identity politics, y'all will call him racist. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me, why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That shit is racist, brother. I don't know how else to put it. That is racism. I don't have to vote for Kamala because she's quote-unquote black. Just like I shouldn't have voted for your ass because you got up there, you tap dance for the establishment, and you ain't do a goddamn for the black people that put you in office. Fuck you, brother.
So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So, how?
Girl, bye. Bye.
We said to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
Now y'all help me make this make sense. Last year I saw Obama chastise black men saying, y'all not supporting this Indian woman. Remember Kamala, who wasn't black, is not black, is not. Okay, she's Hindu, she's Indian. But I watched Obama sit there and chastise black men saying, y'all don't want to support this woman. But at the same time, turn around, go to Virginia and campaign against a real natural black woman.
But Barack Obama was just telling black men that we should have voted for Kamala Harris because she's black and has similar experiences as us. This is Barack Obama talking to black men when Kamala Harris was running for president. Pay attention to what he's saying, and then pay attention to what I show you after and think about it.
On the one hand, you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. He said, work harder and do more.
So when he's talking to black men about voting for Kamala Harris, he makes sure to make it about race and say she's like you. You need to vote for her. But now let's translate that to the governor's race in Virginia. You have a black woman running. Her name is Winsome Earl Sears. And a white woman named Abigail Spanberger. Let's take a look and see who Barack Obama endorsed.
Virginia's elections are some of the most important in the country this year. And I am proud to endorse Abigail Spanberger for governor.
What? But Barack Obama was just telling black men that we should have voted for Kamala Harris because she's black and has similar experiences as us. But now there's a black woman running for governor in the state of Virginia and Barack Obama is endorsing the white woman. Why is that? Because it's not about aligning yourself with people that look like you. It's about Democrats staying in power or getting power. Barack Obama was just manipulating black people's sensitivity on race in order to get them to vote for a Democrat. But now that the black person is a Republican and not a Democrat, he's going to vote against that black individual. So again, it's not about skin color. It's about political power, and Democrats just manipulate black people's sensitivity on race in order to get black people to help Democrats stay in power. And many black Americans don't realize it.
Y'all, listen, this let me know one thing. This ain't got nothing to do with color. This ain't got nothing to do with color. It's either God's side or Satan's side. God's side or Satan's side. Nothing to do with color. Pay attention.
Those are individual decisions, but they want you to think you don't have the ability to come to your own individual decisions, that you need and want them to tell you what to do and how to think. There's a word to describe that actually, and that word is slavery. The thing is, you are their next victim class, and they know that. They want to guarantee your allegiance for generations. So they're going to use anything and everything now to try to convince you that you made the wrong decision. Just like that audio of that crying child that's been going viral on social media, that's fake. It came from a movie.
Mama, por favor. Mama, no me dejes. Mama.
But they don't care about the facts. All they want to do is sway you just enough to convince you to come back to their side. Democrats are masters at convincing minorities that they need them and then doing nothing for them. Just look at the black community. What do we have to show for our generations of slavish devotion to the Democrats? Nothing. And that's what's in store for your community if you let the Democrats sway you now. They're going to call you a race traitor. They're going to call you a sellout. They're going to call you all sorts of racial slurs because that's really all they know how to do when they come across a minority that they can't control. They don't care about you. They don't care about your people. They care about control. They'll be the first ones to say, oh, Latinx, this or that, until you step out of line. They want to control your mind. They want to control how you think, and they want to control how you vote. That is the bottom line. But the good news is, once they've exhausted their very short list of preferred insults, there's really nothing else to worry about. But they're hoping that you'll be so afraid of being attacked, you'll just fall back in line and go back to doing whatever they tell you to do, regardless of if it's actually good for you or not. And what's worse is, just like for the black community, they've gotten a large number of people in your own community to turn and attack you for them at this point. Trust me when I say you are going to lose friends. I've lost plenty of friends myself. But the good news is you're going to gain so many new friends who are going to stand up for your ability to think critically and come to your own conclusions. People who won't reduce you down to your most basic characteristics. People who won't take one look at you and think they know everything about you. And those are the kind of people that you should want to have in your corner. So take it from someone who's been there, who is still there today. They're going to come for you, but you are going to be okay. I believe in you. Don't let them do to you what they've already done to my community.
I won in Miami. Think of that. In Miami, I won the Hispanic vote. Along the Texas border, I won every single city or town touching the Texas border, and they're 85 to 90% Hispanic. We won the Hispanic vote. If the vote in California was legitimate, which it's not, there are 38 million ballots. Everything is mail-in voting. They mail out 38 million ballots. And they come in. Where the hell do they go and where do they come from? It's a rigged election in California because we would win California by a lot. And again, they feel they have the advantage with Hispanic. They don't.
So Trump comes out swinging. Because we've got the evidence about 2020. We got truckloads and we're about to release everything. But he goes further than that. And he mentions California for a reason. He says, California, they're rigged. They're more rigged than anybody. You can't win California without winning the Hispanic vote. Then let's look at Florida, Arizona, Nevada, Texas. These have a huge Hispanic population. Trump won all of those states. And in those states, he won the Hispanic vote. So how is it that in all those other states, Trump, where the elections are fair and free, Trump won all those states. He won all the Hispanics. But in this one state where they mail out millions, tens of millions of mail-in ballots to anybody and everybody, you get a ballot, he gets a ballot, she gets a ballot, everybody gets a ballot. Like it's Christmas. And that's the only state with a massive population of Hispanics that Trump did not win. And then he says, if the elections were free and fair in California, he would win. Republicans would win that state. Now let me tell you what I believe Trump is going to do. I believe they're going to release all the information, and they are going to use all that declassified and released information as the foundation for a Supreme Court election integrity lawsuit, and they're going to clean up elections. But President Trump, we appreciate you. We love you. Clean up our country. Clean up the election laws and rules and get all the illegals and the dead people off our voter rolls. One day, one paper ballot for one person, in-person voting, proof of citizenship, and ID mandatory. That's how we take back our elections. God bless you guys. Share this with a few friends. I'll see you on the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gavin Newsom is running for president in 2028. We can all sniff that, but his presidential run is over before it even began. If Ron DeSantis runs in 2028, what you'll see are mayors in major cities in Florida endorsing him. But Newsom has the mayor of San Francisco, the city that made his political career what it is, saying that his policies wrecked the place. Here's Mayor Daniel Lurie of San Francisco expanding on his exposure of the crooked policies from the Newsoms, from the Kamala Harrises, and all the other crooks in California that destroyed San Francisco.
I think sentiment was the big challenge, and I think we've overcome that. At this time last year, 25% of San Franciscans felt like we were heading in the right direction. Today, 62% of San Franciscans think we're heading in the right direction. And that's where we can now build from. And now we have to execute. We got to execute on public safety, which we are. Crime is down 30%. We got to execute on the behavioral health crisis and getting people off the street and into the right kind of treatment beds and recovery beds. And then third priority, we have to strip away the red tape to help our small businesses, our restaurants, our galleries get up and running more easily and have a City Hall used to be kind of an opponent for our small businesses. We want to be a partner, and we have changed that drastically as well, and we can go into that. But I think the biggest challenge was sentiment. We've gotten there, and now we need to go execute, keep people safe, keep our streets clean, and create the conditions for success. We have been the envy of the world for generations and hundreds of years. Like, we got away from that for a few years. We took it for granted as the elected class in the city.
Fair play to San Francisco for picking this guy as mayor. He's a Democrat, but he sounds like he's pretty reasonable on the common sense policies. Yeah, well said. It's safe to say Gavin Newsom is in some big trouble. Take a look at these polls. Right now it's being reported by Axios that Kamala Harris is stepping toward another White House run. Her book tour expanded. Not sure who's reading that book and what they'd be learning from it. How to laugh. She appeared before the Democratic National Committee, and she's also rolling out new rhetoric. She's railing against both parties and the status quo in her speech on Friday to Democratic officials. Many in the room told Axios that they were struck by how different Harris's remarks were from her Biden defending message on the campaign trail last year. Kamala Harris is at 31.1%, Gavin Newsom is at 20.3%. This is some sweet payback on Newsom for pushing DEI all these years down everyone's throats. Kamala Harris is nowhere near the intelligence level of a Gavin Newsom. He has a way with words, and he's a very smooth political operator. But he's gonna get beat in the Democrat primary by a woman who is Indian Irish, or whatever Candace Owens revealed in her series on Kamala, who has absolutely no brain cells whatsoever. She's not charismatic, she's not fun, she's not engaging, she's a bland, race-based politician, and she became vice president solely because of how she looked. She was literally laughed out of the Democrat primary by the voters. I don't even know if she got top 5 in any primary votes. And now, because of the culture Democrats have created for themselves, she's going to lead against really decent candidates. Gavin Newsom has wrecked California, but objectively speaking, he's a better candidate than Kamala Harris, but he's going to lose because of the BS that they pushed with DEI. They are the identity politics party, and they're going to reap those rewards, baby. You would think Democrats would be pushing for someone like Andy Beshear, who is a Democrat leading a state like Kentucky, who could appear as moderate on the national stage, but they're stuck with a cackling hyena, some homo dude named Butt Gig, and Newsom is gonna lose. You know he's concerned when Gavin Newsom is having to sit down and admit his mistakes.
We failed on the border. We need to own up to that. Largest border crossing in the Western Hemisphere in my state, spent $1 billion+ to do migrant centers, try to put a lid on things. It was quite critical, but I tried to do it in a respectful way of the Biden administration. We failed on the border. We have to own that. But we've also failed as a consequence because of that to lead the comprehensive immigration question. We've got to get the border right, then we can get to that. But I say that to make the point. You don't need sanctuary policy in this country if we have a federal government doing its job.
We do have a federal government doing its job. Deportations are happening. ICE is enforcing immigration law in the interior. It's great, actually.
So one construction company owner says he's seeing a difference ever since Border Patrol has been in Louisiana.
No immigrants want to go to work, and it is so amazing. I've gotten more calls in the last week than I've gotten in the last 3 months. I got 20 calls in one day.
80 degrees in the opposite direction.
So it's Trump's fault that the Democrats opened the border for tens of millions of people to pour into the country. Sure. But what I want you to take away from this is that Gavin Newsom is panicking. He's making himself out to be like a moderate. Oh, I've been in the middle this entire time. No, Gavin, you're a crook.
And you saw mass migration across the country. It was hardly unique in the United States. You had all of the shock and supply chain shock and issues around COVID, coming out of COVID, et cetera, that created even more pressure. And then it became overwhelming.
That makes sense. COVID made us open the borders.
And then what also became overwhelming was this notion that we can't do it without Congress. And then Biden then proved Trump right by doing it without Congress. And in the last 6 months, we saw a significant decline in border crossings under the Biden administration that ultimately led to benefits for Trump, claiming he did it all.
No, Trump did close the border. The auto pen regime only tried to slow down the crossings to influence the election. That was all. Here's something else that's really bad for Gavin Newsom. California refineries are closing right now, so gas prices are higher in California than anywhere else. That's because their gas tax is over $1 at the pump, so every gallon you pour into your gas tank, the government taxes you $1, over $1 actually. Motorists in left coast states have long paid some of the country's highest fuel prices due to limited regional production and minimal connectivity to the Gulf Coast refining hub. There are no pipelines delivering fuel to California from the Rocky Mountains, and only a few pipelines deliver to the West Coast from the Gulf Coast, according to the Energy Information Administration. Maybe because there's no commercial viability for doing it. Why would you, as a private company, pour billions of dollars into oil infrastructure to help California when they're just going to turn around and tax you to hell? I'm going to keep you guys updated on Gavin Newsom's political demise. It's going to be a fun 2026 and 2028. Thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.
And finally, greasy Gavin Newsom is talking out of his you-know-what again.
Evolutions. We didn't get into trans sports. That's an issue no one wants to hear about because 80% of the people listening disagree with my position on this. But it comes from my heart, not just my head. It wasn't a political evolution.
Your position being that?
I don't think it's I want to see trans kids. I have a trans godson. There's no governor that's signed more pro-trans legislation than I have.
All that appears to hit a nerve with Nicki Minaj, who released a series of X posts saying things like, quote, Gavin is the cute boy who got everything handed to him because of how cute and sexy and hot and smoking he was. And quote, the Gav-nots Gav out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored.
Let's bring in host of the Michael Knowles show, Michael Knowles. Michael, great to see you. This is titled in our rundown, Nicki Minaj letting Roman out. If anybody is, if you're familiar with her,
I learned about that recently.
Like her alter ego, Roman, coming out swinging against Gavin Newsom. I suppose that these celebrities really hate the way he's run the state.
I have to tell you, I know that Nicki Minaj is bored of Gavin. I am not bored of this. I love this. The barbs are totally vindicated. Barbs is the word for Nicki Minaj fans, for those who are not hip to the lingo. This is wonderful, and some of us saw this coming because Nicki Minaj has been endorsing a lot of important conservative causes recently, but notice what the causes are. There are two in particular. One, she's reacting to Gavin Newsom's bizarre, freaky statement that he wants to see more trans kids. What kind of a bizarre statement to make? But two, Nicki Minaj has heroically called attention to the persecution of Christians in the Middle East and in Africa. And so this is really, really important, I think, for Republicans to pay attention to, because Nicki Minaj is speaking to a lot of people who are not ordinary Brooks Brothers Republican voters. And what are the issues that are resonating with her? The squishes and the centrists and the liberals would have you believe that we just need to focus on the economy or something like that. No, the issues that are really speaking to her are these common sense issues, these culture war issues, in some cases these downright religious issues, because that's where the chasm between the two sides is so clear.
Yeah, again, lead by example. And I think, look, almost all the governors get along. I mean, in my 8 years, I can honestly tell you there's really only been two, maybe a third, but two real governors that really nobody liked. Nobody cared for at all. I don't mind.
Would you say who they are?
Do you really want me to? Yeah, Andrew Cuomo. Complete jackass. No one liked him. And I gotta be honest. No one cares for Gavin. Gavin's just a prick. Excuse me. He just is. It's really disappointing. I got along with him. All of us got along for a while. But even the Democrats, they won't tell you out loud. But behind closed doors, you're like, oh God, look who's coming. You know, they all roll their eyes.
When it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement, or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly and securely. Don't wait. Decide how it ends.
Crying harder. Crying harder. Trump is your president. Crying harder. Crying harder. Trump is your president.
On the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" !"
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Hey, let me shut down the city! We are at war!
We're in a war right now.
We are at war.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
And that's why the gloves are off.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And yes, there are many threats to democracy. We see it with these extreme candidates.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
You can only push people so far, and then they start to take matters into their own hands.
What the American public want is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight.
You know, this is literally call to arms.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No.
With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high.
When they go low, we kick them.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
And make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down, because they deserve it.
Get up in the face of some Congress people.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your...
We have to fight this in the streets.
We're going to fight it in the streets.
It's time to step out of your comfort zone and step out into the streets.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
He's not going to have a third term. He may not finish this term.
That's the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.